Carl, kick us the off.
It's Sunday night. We're up for a fight.
We do not condone violence. We do not condone violence.
Well, unless it's professional.
Yeah, of course.
I'm well up for it then.
How about you and me?
Have a good fight, mate.
You and me get in a ring.
I'd love that.
100 grand of your money, 100 grand of my money. Wait a minute, we don't have that. Oh, it's the Awkward Turkey podcast. I don't know what episode it is, but it is May.
It's something 30 something.
It's the something of May. Yeah, and we've got a wicked guest on today. We've got a photographer. She's called Sophie Collins. Sophie Collins Photography. .co.uk or .co.com.
Underscore.
Friend of me, friend of you, friend of the show. We haven't met her yet. Well, actually, we have because we filmed this in backwards order, like we always do.
And we made that gag
when I'm late. Yeah. But Carl, before we get Sophie on.
Yes, mate. How you doing? First of all, you doing okay? Nice hat. I like your hat.
Thanks very much.
Got your glasses as well.
First time.
With the glasses.
First time I've gone with the glasses.
That's good.
It feels a bit weird because I can see
me. Yeah.
See you better than I normally can. Yeah.
How do I look?
You look wonderful.
Thanks, mate. I've been trying.
You look great. You do.
Beautiful. Thanks.
I like your hair.
It's not so. What was the guy you said it looked like?
Kevin Keegan.
Phil Collins. Yeah.
Phil Collins hasn't got any hair.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Keegan.
Classic. I've got a couple of things I want to talk to you about just before we get Sophie on. I had the worst morning of my life the other day, and I wrote it down as a thing to talk about on the podcast because I was just like, I have to talk to you about this, and then I have to talk to you about a TV show that I watched after the worst day of my life, which I believe you've seen, but we need to talk about it. I'm having a break. I'm having a couple of days away. And I'm looking forward to it because I've been working quite hard on various different things, and it's a couple of days off. So I'm excited, and I've done that thing where I haven't really put anything in the car that I need to have in the car. So I've got to pack the car, and I'm late. I'm running late, and there's nothing worse for my stress levels than running late. It takes me about
like you to run late, mate.
Yeah. It takes me about 40 minutes to find my wallet. So now I've gone from I'm late to I'm really late to now I'm just but I did that thing as well where I started looking in places that I knew it wasn't in. Do you know what I mean? Just like looking in drawers with cutlery and going, wonder if I put it in there. Yeah. So what I did was I rang my mum. I was there at her house a couple of days before, and I said, I haven't left my wallet there, have I? Yeah. If I haven't, can you get me some
20
cash?
quid.
She says, no, it's not there. She said, have you checked your car? I was like, of course I've checked my car. So now I'm really stressed. There's no wallet. And I get down to the car and I open the car door and I sort of lean in and I'm looking around all the center console. My feet are outside the car and I'm sort of leaning in with my bum hanging out in some sort of seductive way to maybe entice the neighbors.
Hello.
Hello neighbors. And as I've told you before, a lot of my neighbors are elderly and they don't want to see that. I lean into the car and this necklace that I wear every single day, this gets caught in the handbrake mechanism. So I am held like this, bum out the window.
Oh, nice visual gag.
Held with my neck like this. So now I'm strangling myself. I can't get out. Can't get the necklace off.
This is my favorite story of the year so far.
So I had to ring my mum. I said, Mum, can you come to my house, please? And she goes, I'm not coming to help you look for your wallet. I said, no, it's not that. What I've done is I've got myself trapped half in and half out of my vehicle. So she came and helped me get released. And I went to Morrison's and I picked up a box of Dr. Beer for where I was going away. And as I was walking to the till with it, all 12 bottles decided they were going to fall out of the bottom of the box of Dr. Beer onto the floor. So I'm trying to put all that away. And I've done that man thing of going to the shop and going, I don't need a trolley when I do need a trolley. Or I don't need a basket when I do need a basket. So I've got
to do that thing where you get the basket and then you realize halfway around Tesco, the basket is far too heavy for me at this point.
Of course. So you get another basket rather than get a trolley. Never admit defeat. Even out the weight. So yeah, the beers are smashed on the floor. Dr. Beer. Still kind of make that a catchphrase. And what I've done is because I've got like a bag with me with stuff that isn't from the shop, and I've got what I'm trying to carry the beers that I've just smashed on the floor. And I'd picked up a couple of bottles of wine that I'd got underneath my arm and like a bottle of pop that I'd got here and like a newspaper and all that sort of stuff. I needed a trolley. And what I did was while I was putting the beers...
Paper.
It wasn't a newspaper. It was a magazine.
Of course it wasn't a newspaper.
It's a magazine about Porsches. But I didn't want to say that to you because it would antagonize you. So what I did was, while I was trying to clear up the beers, I put the things that I'd got under my arms into the plastic bag that had nothing to do with the fact I was in Morrison's.
Uh-oh.
So I get a tap on the shoulder from the security guard while I'm on my hands and knees trying to pick up all the Dr. beers. And he's now accusing me of trying to steal the stuff that's in the shop. And I'm like, mate,
You got a thiefy look about you.
I've just strangled myself in my own car. I've spent an hour looking for a wallet that was in the last place that I left it.
Mum won't lend me 20 quid.
Yeah, she won't lend me 20 quid. I've smashed 20 bottles of Dr. Beer. I can't get this magazine soaking wet. Now you're accusing me of being a thief. And that was how that day started. The only thing that would have made it 100% worse was if I'd got a parking ticket, but I didn't, or if you were there. So yeah, I wanted to just share that because I feel like my life at the moment is me having awkward and embarrassing moments, and then me writing them down in my head and sharing them on the podcast with everybody else. Yeah, pretty much.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
And how have you been? Before I tell you about this TV show that you will have seen and we need to talk about in front of people because it just needs to be discussed.
Yeah, been all right. You know, cracking on in there. Every day starts the same for me. Up at 6 a.m, get to the studio, work all day, have some tea, go back and work.
Occasionally
trying to get new music out.
Occasionally speak to me for a few hours in the day where we're at various points.
I can't speak to you until 1. I can't speak to you until 1. Trying to have my lunch, trying to like talk to you.
Yeah, we did that yesterday, didn't we? We both had a bagel in synchronicity.
Yeah. Bagel boys, bagel boys.
That's the next T-shirt. Bagel boys.
Bagel boys with cream cheese.
Is that an actual thing, or have you just made that up?
Just made it up now.
Oh,
bagel boys with cream cheese.
We are now 100% the Bagel Boys.
The Bagel Boys.
Do you know what we should do when we finish this podcast?
What? Have a bagel.
I was going to say we could, but obviously, contractually we have to shoot another one immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
But there's time. Let's have a bagel lunch.
Bagel boys with cream cheese.
I can just see it now with
Actually,
bagel boys.
I had an egg in mine yesterday. So
how do you do that? Doesn't the egg just break in the middle of it?
No, so cook the egg, fry the egg in it, and then flip it over so it cooks again. So it's like soft but not runny.
Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect.
Also, just want to put it out there because being in the sun, innit? Look at me. Got a bit of sun. And mate, look at that sexy thing. That's my leg. Got shorts on.
Because we've already filmed a lot of this episode, so much of it is visual. And one can only apologise. You do look like you've been in the sun, but I don't know if it looks like you've got a tan. You look a little bit sort of red-necked. Not in the...
Oh, yeah. Hickey.
I don't know if we... Yeah.
Hickey.
Not sure. Talking about your legs and talking about skin. TV show.
Sexy stuff coming.
This TV show. Have you ever watched a television program called Naked Attraction?
No.
Right. Homework for next week is you have to watch it.
I can't watch these kind of programs.
Right. So if you haven't seen it, I need to explain it to you because I stumbled across it. It's on about 11:30 at night, and it's like a proper Channel 4 show, and it's there's production value in it and stuff like that. Well, I say there's production value in it. There's some production value in it, and essentially, first of all, I would take my hat off, but my hair looks ridiculous underneath. Hats off to anybody who goes on it because the clue's in the name.
You've got to get naked, haven't you?
I've got to get naked, and to have that sort of body confidence, honestly, fantastic. Hats off to the people who do it. But the concept of the show, there's like 5 people. So it'd be either 5 girls or 5 boys, depends which way they're doing the episode. So let's say they got 5 boys for the purpose of this, because I can't word it if it's girls in a way that I want to. So it's got 5 boys, and then one girl sort of stands fully clothed, and they're all behind screen doors. And the screen door starts to rise, so it reveals their feet, and then their shins, and then their knees, and then their balls. And it stops.
Please say private parts. Don't say balls.
Okay, so the screen door comes up, and it reveals their dicks. Okay, so the screen door comes up, and it reveals their feet, their knees, and then their private parts.
Okay.
And that's where the screen door stops.
All their, like, everything.
Everything, like the lot, everything.
Nothing, no pixel, nothing.
No. This is it's there. And all 5 of them, that's all you can see. And the screen door stops there. So it stops just at the sort of belt line.
Yeah, you're going to tell me in a minute you got an audition for it.
No. Can't get on it
My
for love nor
agent's
money.
been on the phone.
Cannot get on it for love nor money.
Yeah, I'm desperate to get back on Channel 4.
So yeah, and it comes up to there, and then they say to the woman who's sort of the contestant, or the one who's picking, they go, right, tell us about what you see. And she goes, oh, number 2's is quite nice. Number 3's is a little bit small. Can I have a look at number 5's bum? And he turns around and shows her his bum. And then the next bit, she eliminates 2 people based purely on their balls. Based purely on their private parts. And then the screen door comes up a little bit more, and now you've got full torso. And she'll go, what do you think of this? And then the next bit is it comes up and it shows their head. And by the time it gets to their head, there's only like 2 left. And then she
gets to the eyes and she goes, I'm out.
Yeah. She dips off into the background and she comes back out and she's got no clothes on. And then they all sort of stand opposite each other. And then she makes her final choice. And then they go off sort of hand in hand and have a date with their clothes on. No, with their clothes on. So, it's incredible. Why did they take
their clothes off?
Why?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of the reverse date, isn't it? You know, or the reverse way that dating works, where they're trying to flip it on its head. And, you know, normally you're way into dating somebody before you see them without their clothes on. Whereas this way, you're seeing them without their clothes on, and then you go for a normal date with them afterwards. And it's supposed to sort of get rid of all the, you know, the nervousness because you've both seen each other naked. So it's fine. It's honestly, sit and watch it with Claire and get Claire to film you while you're watching it. No. Think of the content.
I don't want to see it.
You do. It's brilliant.
Okay.
It is brilliant.
Fine, I'll do it. I'll do it for you.
Watch one. Just watch one.
Okay.
It's great. That had absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about today, which is photography. Let us get our guest on. It is Sophie Collins. I don't know if I could go from talking about balls and private parts straight into... yeah, we can. Of course we can. It's our show. We make the rules. Sophie Collins, everybody, on the Awkward Turkey podcast.
There we go.
There you are.
Hello.
Hello, you okay?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm Carl.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Tom.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, I'm Sophie.
Hi, Soph. I don't know if we'll use that. That might be quite a nice little thing.
I don't know what to expect.
We don't either. We're flying by the seat of our pants as much as you are.
Have you seen the show? Have you seen the show before?
Yeah, literally. I just watched about 3 of them while I was editing. I just had it on in the background. It's really good.
Perfect. Which ones? The latest ones or the early ones? Because there's a big difference.
Yeah, I noticed like there was one that was like quite different. I think you were together even in one of them, so that must have been. No, I watched like 2 or 3 recent ones. One was the was it Austin?
Yeah.
Yeah, loved that one. And I just watched one with an actor as well. I can't remember his name now. But...
Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, if you were to pick 2 of my favourite out of the last year, they're probably 2 of my favourites that we did.
Oh, but yeah, they were really, really good. I did enjoy.
As long as you didn't see the Pictionary episodes, we were absolutely fine.
No, I don't think I did. I'll have a look.
Don't look for me.
Don't
look for me either. You don't need to.
Don't go for that.
I will. I'll be looking.
All right, here we go with friend of the show, friend of mine, friend of Tom's. Not really. We just met. Photographer extraordinaire from South Wales, Sophie Collins.
Hi.
Hi, Sophie. Welcome to the Awkward Turkey podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for asking me to come on.
It's fine.
Thanks for coming on.
Normally we'd ask if you'd seen the show, but again, we know that you have seen a few episodes, which is pretty good actually, because when we have had the last few guests on, we've asked them sort of questions about the show, and they've just not seen it at all. They've just sort of
gone. I just had nothing else to do with my day, so
fancied promoting something, and then they just disappeared.
Came on. Yeah.
So this is the episode that we're doing on photography, and we thought what a great guest to get on would be a photographer. And Carl was like, well, she's got to be Welsh, and I went, okay. And that's how we arrived.
Apparently,
at this
no
point.
good photographers come from anywhere but Wales.
Yeah,
it's just a rumor that's flying around.
I'm not surprised.
Oh, there it is. There it is. That's why we got her on, Tom.
I already feel like I'm being
bullied,
cast out.
Maybe I need to go back and watch the Austin episode.
Potentially. So, Soph, I can I call you Soph? Can I abbreviate
Friends
it?
now,
I'm just
Tom.
making sure.
Yeah, everyone calls me Sophie. Sorry, I just say Sophie out of habit.
No, it's fine. We had a comedian on a couple of weeks ago called Ignacio, and it's a very, very difficult name to abbreviate in any way.
As well. Yeah.
Yeah, he's really, really good. He was really funny, so no pressure, because I think your rep comes after his.
Yeah, you got your jokes ready, right? Haven't you?
Yeah, me.
You got jokes ready for the people at home.
Ready, so I don't know what's going to come out of that. So.
No, we are gonna talk about what you know, which is photography. I think it used to be, for like my understanding of this, and correct me if I'm totally wrong, but my understanding of it is there used to be photographers, and then there used to be normal people, and then the invention of the iPhone came, and now everybody, to some extent, fancies themselves, me included, as a bit of a photographer.
Yeah, I feel like you're right, and I'm one of them as well. Like, considering I'm a photographer, I don't take my camera out, and I should. And this is one thing that I said I'd do this year, haven't done it, is when I go out, take my camera. No, I just pick up my phone, because it's just so much easier, and that's so bad. And I probably shouldn't admit that, but it just is. One thing it doesn't do though is if you want it printed or anything, it hasn't got that yet.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future. Yeah.
But in terms of genuinely good pictures, so being a photographer, when you look at, can you completely tell straight away that's an iPhone pic?
Yeah.
That's a, what are they called? DLS?
DSLR. Don't test me.
Yes. It's like a sofa company. I don't know.
I don't know.
Off. No. Go back. Get her off, Tom.
I got mine.
Let's get someone from England on you.
Considering I'm a photographer as well, is one thing I know is very techy.
Okay, so it's a DLR camera. So can you tell it if? No, it's not.
No, it's not.
What is it?
The DLR is the tube line. This is.
DSLR.
I don't want to be here anymore. I've had enough of this. I've had enough of this episode already.
DSLR.
This bullying. Go back and watch the Austin episode.
Yeah, I can tell the difference.
Okay.
Not to say they're not amazing photos, they are. But I can tell.
Because there's a massive campaign that's in London, or was in London certainly before all pandemic stuff, where when you used to get on the tube, the huge billboards that were behind the tube would have what looked like an amazing photograph of, I don't know, like a landscape, or it might even be like a portrait shot of a model. And the advertising campaign was shot on iPhone. And it did say at the bottom in small print.
Did they print that off?
It did say at the bottom in small print, additional hardware was used or something like that. Yeah. So, but the campaign was that you can take these pro pictures on an iPhone, and you can get good pictures on an iPhone because the cameras are good.
Yeah, like digitally you can. They look amazing. But printed out, even A4 sometimes it's so pixelated. And that's kind of what you're missing there.
And I mean, Tom, we're going to have the new iPhone 4 in Wales soon, which will be amazing. An internet.
Fantastic.
We're going to get that thing called Channel 5 soon.
Brilliant. I think you've made that gag on several episodes. To mix. So, Soph, how did you get into photography? Because what we're going to do today is I want to find out a little bit about you, or me and Carl do, and then because every single person in the world has got a half decent camera on their phone, we're going to get you to give us some tips on how people at home can get the best pictures out of their phone if they haven't got, as Carl calls it, a DLR.
An SLS.
An SLS. That's actually there's an SLR, which is my favorite car, but it's neither a camera.
I think. All right, never mind. But also, what we're going to get you to do, Soph, if this is all right with you, and say it's too late to say no anyway. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a picture that both of us took of one of our pets.
Oh, we've been busy this week in preparation for this, taking photos.
Prep Central here, so Prep Central.
That's okay. So I'm
prepped so much, I didn't even know what the camera was called. So we're gonna put a picture up, and then, like, because competition's healthy, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's always got to be a winner.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put a picture up that both of us took, and then get you to pick it apart, basically, and make us feel bad about life.
And I'd like to apologise in advance to everybody who is listening to this on iTunes and Spotify. That particular section that we're discussing, if you're not watching it on YouTube, will be a little bit visual, and it's advised
I'm not apologising to anyone. Just go to YouTube.
Okay, that's Carl, alienating everybody apart from the people who love us in Saudi Arabia. Thank you very much for keeping us high in the charts in Saudi Arabia and Egypt at the moment.
Did you hear that, Soph?
Yeah.
Charting in Saudi, mate.
Wow.
Yeah.
So anyway, to get it back to photography, Carl, and not about us just raving about the fact that we're charting in Saudi Arabia, which is fantastic.
I call it Saudi now.
So how did you, well, first of all, how did you get into photography? And also, what sort of photography do you do?
So, it's literally from school. I was always more creative, like in art and everything. And I asked the teacher if I could do photography through art, because they never did photography in school. And she allowed me to. I then went on to uni to do it. Mixed reactions about uni with photography, because I loved it. I loved the people, I loved the lecturers, but the actual work, not so fast. And I then, in my second year of uni, decided to start my business, which was Sophie Collins Photography. I was doing.
Plug it, Tom.
I was going to say, give it a plug. Plug away. That's what we're here for.
I've always liked photographing people. So I think that's where uni I found a bit difficult, because it was always sort of objects and studio and just things like that. I just fell in love with photographing people. I then met a photographer actually down the pub who asked me if I wanted to join her on a wedding, which I did. Was terrified, but I was just sort of in the background, so it didn't matter. I was actually late to that one as well. It was all going wrong, but I absolutely loved it. And I then ended up doing like a friend's wedding for nothing. And then like you start there, but I did like 2. The next year I did 5. The next year I did 10, and then it grows that way then. So that's how I got into weddings specifically. Yeah, because I just loved photographing people, and that's basically it. And I just stuck to it. So
here's my thing about wedding photographers, right? I always feel I feel nervous for the wedding photographer, because there's only one chance to get that pic.
Yeah.
Oh, the picture of the ring going on the finger. You
right?
can't in
or
the church
like
go.
The book.
Can we go back and you sign that again?
Yeah.
Go back
Asking
and
the
pop that ring on
vicar,
again?
oh mate, give me a minute. We're going to need to reshoot this. The lighting's wrong.
Yeah, no, I know. And little things can happen. Like your camera can just have a tiny little like pause if you're taking loads. So it's like,
Right.
I'm not used to that now. Like confetti, I'll make sure I'm not like bursting loads of photos of people, because I know confetti's coming up. And if I do that, my camera's it can slow down. And it's just, you learn that. But yeah, it is terrifying. Like even now, before every wedding, I am nervous. As soon as I'm there, I'm fine. But yeah,
I've got a couple of friends who do quite a lot of wedding photography on the side of being like a performer and stuff like that. And like you said, I've gone on a couple of occasions and helped pick up a few shots on my DLR, and it has been
on
quite
his
stressful.
SLS.
But they all say that their least favorite thing about taking pictures at a wedding is getting that shot of a group of people when something significant like the first dance is happening without everybody's iPhones in the shot, because they're trying to get this amazing picture, and all they've got is a sea of iPhones trying to get the same moment.
Yeah, the hardest thing is actually sometimes walking down the aisle when they're coming back. So like not when she's walking or he walking.
When the deed is done, yeah.
Yeah. When they're walking back and they're celebrating and they're like, woo, and you've got you even got people like leaning out into the aisle, and it's like it's hard because I know they want their own pictures, but it's
but you're like, there's gonna be a proper
for this one, and it is tricky. A lot of people have like unplugged weddings, they call them now, where there's a sign up. They put a sign up in front of the ceremony that just says, "This is an unplugged wedding. Turn your phones off. I don't want to."
Yeah, that's quite a popular thing now that people have on like invites and stuff like that just says you will get a copy of these.
At a gig.
Yeah. What? Just say no phones?
Yeah. How good would that be? Play a gig with phones, because everybody, no, genuinely, because you know.
Yeah, you do perform to the phones rather than the people, don't you?
It's just like that all the way through it. Not someone's thumb up. I've got to pretend for
Like when I go
You know, people are just like, you're a great
Yeah.
Did
Carl.
remind me. You
I
reminded me.
camera sometimes, like in a concert, I'm like, I'm not even watching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of that, and also you're not. Also, it's this is my pet hate with photographs or with video is why do people take video and take pictures of fireworks? Just enjoy the fireworks. I've never, and I've done it myself, but I've never, ever gone, do you know what I want to watch? Those fireworks that I took a video of in 2018.
Do you want to know what my pet hate is?
What?
People who take pictures on fucking iPads.
Oh, iPad photography.
Why do you take a picture on an iPad?
I know, but it's in the wedding. It's always like the nan or the grand.
It's the older people, yeah. They can see the picture.
Again, she's not just thumb up. I got 10 iPhones.
It's literally, I can't see, and it's so annoying because I know they want to get those moments for themselves, but I also want to get them in the wedding.
But do you ever do that picture where you take the professional picture through the iPhone? So like you're taking the picture of someone taking the picture.
I've done it a couple of times,
That's quite a nice angle.
I don't mind that because
More so at a gig, I think, Carl, than at a wedding. It's nicer to see, a sea of phones, and then one of them you've got that in focus. Yeah.
Always thinking about the gig, mate.
What is that?
I have done it once or twice, but I tend, no, it's not something I often do.
So you take pictures of weddings, you take pictures of people. Do you? That was what I was going to ask you. Is what's your favorite picture that you have ever taken in the world?
Oh God, it's hard. I think there was this one. Oh, I don't know. There's loads. Every wedding is so different. So like, there's always that one shot in every wedding, and I'm like, oh, I love that. My absolute favorite, I think, has got to be. I did a wedding in Fairy Hill, down the Gower, and it was on like a road. Cars had to stop, and it was like a sunset, and I love that one. Like the sunset was coming through a veil. I think that's my favourite. So I'll send you that one.
I'll stick that one up now.
And tell me how much
do you charge? No.
How much are you going to charge me to take a picture of me on a road?
Do you take pictures of grown-ups on horses? Because I've got a calendar coming up next year. Is my calendar here?
Yeah. So
and
I'm quite shy, right? As a perform, even though I'm in a band and I go on stage and stuff, I'm pretty shy in front of a camera. How do you get? There's no point in Tom asking you this question because he'll take his top off for anyone. He'll take his top off for a Kit Kat.
He's not.
He's not
guilty.
Cute Kit Kat. But how do you get people? Not even just like performers, but people in general to come out of their shell a bit, because you can just get a picture again. Sorry, Spotify, but you can't just get a picture of people like this.
Yeah.
Some people do the Chandler. It's genuine. I've seen it.
My brother,
Some people
my
can't
brother,
smile for pictures.
He doesn't mind being in a picture. He's absolutely fine with it, and he doesn't go quite that extreme. And sorry again, this is super visual, but he does just go like this.
Yeah, I get a lot.
It's that sort of, you feel like, or people lean. You go, okay, I'm going to take a picture, and everybody goes like
genuinely.
that.
One of our friends, dude, look. So if that's the camera, and you go, okay, everybody, 1, 2, 3, smile. 1, 2, 3. They just look to the wrong way every time.
I've had that as well. I think
as if there's two cameras going off at the same point.
Yeah, I've had that. I have had that where they look away, and I take about 10 of one group shot now because I'm like, there's bound to be one where, first of all, there's always one person that blinks. Like I just did a wedding now, and I was just looking through the photos, and I did a group shot of all the boys, and in every single one of them's blinking.
Yeah, one of them's genuinely like.
But can you do that thing in Photoshop? And I've done it with like pictures I've had of the band and stuff like that, where there's been 4 of us, 5 of us, and one of us has been blinking or one of us has been looking the other way. And if it's almost an identical shot that's reeled off, you've taken 10 in a row, just use like the head of somebody in pick 4, in pick 3, and
you just use the eyes, really. Yeah, you can just use the eyes.
So how would you help Carl then? Because Carl is kind of dead.
I haven't got any eyes.
I think, well, in terms of being awkward,
Because I haven't got any eyes.
I don't know. I thought that's where you were going with it.
I just have to find a pair of eyes.
Yeah, googly eyes.
So there was a serious question
there was
there
a
before we
genuine
went off, and
question.
Carl was saying, how
do you
would
get
you make
people out of
somebody?
their skin?
How
Yeah,
would you make?
to be honest, I find myself quite awkward as well in front of photos, so I know what it's like. A lot of my couples, like if you look at my work, it's not very posy. Like, it's just not. It's not my style sort of thing.
So it's like life shots, moments.
Yes, like it's very natural, but at the same
I
time,
think they're the best.
They're the best ones,
pictures.
the wedding pictures that don't look posed. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. But I also do position them. So like I always tell them on the day, like you're not just going to be standing there like, what am I doing? Like just looking at each other. I am going to tell you exactly what to do. I do just get them to like just look at each other. And they feel so awkward that they're just looking at each other this close.
That they laugh.
And then that's your shot. It sounds easy. It can be quite tricky sometimes, but it is just making, like, the awkwardness makes you laugh, and it does turn out fine, even though it feels awful at the time. Like I had a group of groomsmen walking towards me last week, and they were like, "Don't make me walk towards you. That's so awkward." But looking at the photos, I know they love her because they just look natural. So that's the main thing, I think, just guiding them.
Have you had any like big mistakes at a wedding? And the reason I say this is because I take a lot of pleasure out of watching people make mistakes on YouTube at weddings, especially when they're using drones to try and take videos. And there's nothing better than sort of watching this like newlywed couple stood under an arch on the edge of a mountain, and this drone pilot's sort of flying in, and he sort of lands his drone on the face of the bride, and it's ruined the wedding. Has anything like that happened?
It's really boring, but no. I've been really lucky. I mean, I've stood on a few veils and then the head goes back, but other than that, which isn't ideal.
Killed a few grooms.
Yeah, killed a few grooms, snapped a few brides' necks, but it's all
all in fun.
I've had a lens break on me in the middle of a shot, which wasn't fun.
Do you have spares?
I did have a spare, and it was like everyone was in the shot now, and like the big group shots are quite scary because I'm not very like in school, for example, hated presentations. They're the worst thing in the world. I don't sleep for days, but I have to stand up and be like, right,
everybody over here.
Yeah. That's the worst part of the job. That is the worst part. And I did that. I got everyone together and went to take the photo. Everyone's just like finally there, and my lens just error on the camera. So I had to run to the end because I left my bag in the ceremony room.
And did they all wait for you? Because I imagine the best man's probably on his fourth or fifth pint of Stella by this point.
Yeah, and luckily they waited. And then another one, which wasn't ideal, I didn't check the ground on where I placed everyone for a group shot. As in how damp the grass was.
Lovely.
And pretty much every woman looked at me like, you have ruined my new heels.
Yeah, just sliding into the floor.
Yeah, that was awkward. Like all the men picking him up, running him off the field.
Do you ever get people going, "Oh, can you just take a quick picture with my iPhone?"
Yeah. So I
always feel bad for photographers when they're a professional at their job. And
can you use all that skill you've got and just do it a little bit worse for me?
But on my iPhone, so I get the same picture that you've trained for years.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Sometimes it can. Yeah, sometimes it's a bit like, right, I don't mind doing it. If I'm in a rush, it's a bit like, oh, okay, but I'll do it. And then it depends how many phones. If I just got one of their phones, I will take the photo and quickly do it because I understand that it takes weeks to get the photos back and they kind of want to show.
Yeah.
There. But I did have one that was really, really nice last week. I had my first wedding of the year, and we went to visit the bride's nan and grandpa in the care home.
That's nice.
Outside, and they haven't been outside for the whole year. And we were able to take a photo with them, which was so nice.
Wow.
And she asked me if I could take a picture on her little camera
iPad.
And I was like 100%. I don't mind. It wasn't even iPad. I couldn't even use it. She gave it to me. I was like,
because that has died now. That little portion of the market, because they used to be, it was you had a phone and you could take pictures on a phone. That was quite a new thing. And then you had like a pro camera, like a DSLR, and there was a gap in the market where they had those digital cameras. This was kind of before phones had them. And it is just like grandmas now who've still got a little digital camera that is.
Yeah.
I think it's just what you're used to. Loads of people, I think sometimes they don't like change, do they? And
Carl don't like change. I don't like change. I'll tell you what else I don't like on the subject of weddings, because I used to gig at weddings right at the start of singing. And you will know as well as I do here, you're there the whole day. So you get to listen to everything from the moment at 11 o'clock in the morning till midnight if you're staying to take pictures of the I was going to call it the wake then. I mean the reception. I'm thinking about funerals. But the speeches are my least favourite bit, because as a singer, you go on after the speeches and, they do the first dance and stuff after the speeches. So you have to be there for it. What is it? What is it with the best man? He's only funny to the people who know him, isn't he? Yeah. Like, I've gone and watched 1 million best man speeches at wedding gigs, and I don't think I've laughed once.
No, same. And it's because if they're heartfelt and funny, I'm like, yeah, love it. But I did a lot where they're just repeating as well.
Yeah.
Like, they've Googled the jokes, haven't they?
Of course they have. Yeah, they've the first page of best man jokes.
And I'm like, I hope no one and I'm dying. Like I'm hoping no one in the wedding has shared the joke, because I'm like, oh no, it's so used. But
so, can you give some advice to people at home? Excuse me, on how important lighting is, or pictures, or how they'll get a better picture out of their iPhone or their SES camera.
Like lighting's everything with photography. I'm not very, like I said, I'm not very technical, so I don't use much of flash. I only use that in the evening of a wedding. I'm very much a natural light photographer. So yeah, whenever I got anything to photograph, place it next to a window. Like I have to. Yeah, it's just that will make your photos 100 times.
But that's what technically I've done today, because we normally have lights set up for the podcast, but it's a bright sunny day today, so I've sort of kind of positioned everything
I've moved
towards the window, so I've got a bit of natural light on my face.
It is. It's natural light. It's just the best. I mean, move it into the natural light, you'll be fine.
Fair enough.
Obviously, bright sunlight can be a nightmare. Photographer's worst nightmare on a wedding day.
What happens if you're doing like a wedding or any photo shoot for that matter, and it's absolutely shitting it down with rain? I mean, not just dribbling, absolutely shitting it down.
Yeah, well, I am shitting it then. Like literally, I'm not gonna lie. I am, because again, like I said, not very technical. I don't turn up with these big flashes or but I always bring always bring loads of umbrellas. Pray the bride will go outside and there's always a break in the weather, I find. Always.
Yeah.
Well, for me, luckily. Or worst case, you find a lush spot, the nicest spot in the venue, and you just do everything there, and you can't control the weather at the end of the day. So you work with what you got.
Any bridezillas?
Yeah.
Yeah? Tell us.
I know, I don't.
You don't have to say their name.
No, I don't.
Nicola. What?
No, don't. I had a bride called Nicola. She was lush.
Okay. I'll make sure that bit stays in.
Katie.
Loads of Katies. No, I've been lucky, actually. I've had...
Come on, tell us a bridezilla story. What's the worst kind of thing that a bride... Because obviously it's hard for them anyway, because it's their big day, and you know there's years and years of pressure for a lot of women on that day.
Like the most common time you'll see a bridezilla moment is that rush leaving out the room for the ceremony, because sometimes you've got like, I've had weddings where there's like 8 bridesmaids, and all of them are like, where's my phone? Like before a night out when you're rushing for the taxi. It's literally like that, and then you can see the bride just getting it's not about you, basically. Like, calm me down.
A friend of mine who used to take a lot of pictures at weddings, he said the issue that he had with a lot of brides were he would take the picture, there'd be nothing wrong with the picture, but they wouldn't like the picture because they didn't like the way that they looked in the picture. And it was a fine picture, but they go, it'd start with can you just get rid of one of my chins there? And do you mind if you sort of, and by the end of it, doesn't look like them anymore. And their issue is with themselves, not with the picture.
Yeah, and the problem is I'm really like critical of my work anyway. So like when they're like, I don't like this, I take it to heart, even though people will say
it's not the picture.
It's not your photo, it's them. I still take it to heart, but I just pray they don't ask me to edit out like anything on them, because there's like 700, 800, 900 photos, and I'm like, should we
judge some pictures, Carl?
I think
Shall I put some pictures up that we've taken on the screen? So what we did with these, Soph, is we, rather than use, because Carl's got a nice camera, I've got a nice camera, and we didn't want it to be like that type of competition where we edited it within like an inch of its life or anything. We wanted to sort of take it on our phones, but do the best that we could with our phones. And then maybe you could give tips to people who don't have like an amazing camera on how to get the best out of their pictures on their phones.
Try my best.
And also, we took a picture of our dogs so that if they were awful, at least you'd go, oh, look at it.
Well, that's the thing. I'll probably really like them. I won't want to say anything bad.
Now, we have to apologise at this point to everybody who is listening, because this is where it's going to get a tiny bit visual.
I'm not apologising to anyone.
But me and Carl have taken pictures of our dogs for the purpose of this podcast. And if you would like to see those fantastic pictures, both equally fantastic pictures, even though we're going to get Soph to judge which one is her favourite, you will have to check it out on YouTube. So this is Carl's photo of Boo.
I'm up first, am I?
Yeah, save the best to last.
Oh.
Look at that little cutie.
That is so cute.
So that's Boo. Her eyes are in focus. No, her eyes are in focus. That's good.
No,
I thought that I was doing like a good thing by getting face in focus and not.
I don't know.
You can say it. I think
you can say whatever you want.
No, as in like what he sat on, things behind, little things like that. Like my eye is drawn to that black thing
in the top left.
The radiator.
Yeah. Is it?
The thing on the radiator behind
the radiator, is it?
Carl drying his drawers, yeah.
Quite possibly, my friend. Quite possibly.
That's kind of where my eyes.
I'm not going to lie to you. It got to about 20 past 10 this morning. I went, shh, I haven't taken a picture yet.
It's a lush picture, and like it's in focus and blah blah blah. And I actually don't mind. Is this year cropped a little bit? I don't even mind that, because I love that. But yeah, if I go sort of there, and that's mainly it. And it's quite dark on the one side.
Oh, I'll have a word with her.
Face, yeah.
Tell her sort the face out a bit more. She's a dog, Soph. She's a dog.
I don't know. I feel really bad. It's a lush photo.
I'm joking.
Okay.
Come on, Tom, let's have a look. Come on, let's all go. Tom takes pictures also, by the way. For people.
Yeah, but not on my phone.
Yeah, I'm like that. Oh,
I'm gonna
say it straight away. That's much better. Sorry. It's mainly because like you've got some good depth of field there, which for those who might not know what depth of field is sort of like the blurriness in the background.
Do you know how hard it was with him, because he's got such a long nose, to keep his eyes in focus at the same time as his nose? I've got much better shots of him with his paw in the air, but his eyes are out of focus and his nose is in.
Yeah. But like, you've used an app on that to like change focus?
100%. That is, my mum has got the new iPhone, so the iPhone 12. So I took it on her phone, not mine, because I've got the 11. And that is out the box on the 12 with absolutely no app afterwards or anything else like that. Not even one of the filters that Apple give you. That's just how the picture's taken. And mate, I don't know if you can see me zooming in, but it is.
I was going to say that's really.
Like for an iPhone, it's so sharp.
Like that would actually sort of, even I would be a bit like debating whether that's camera or phone, because they're amazing now.
I mean, a lot of it's down to the person who takes them, isn't it, Soph? Do you know what I mean?
Not down to that, but
yes, Soph.
No, it's really good. It's down to lighting.
Yeah, that was. It was a sunny day.
Yeah, and you've got the light behind him, which is key.
Where I was, because the sun was going down behind. I was at my mum's, and my mum's got a hot tub, and I just got it's brand new, and I just got in the hot tub, and I was sitting in the hot tub, and the dog came, so I'm already below him, and he's on raised ground, and he's got light behind him, and he just stood there for 10 minutes, which he never does. And I was like,
Tom, let me just see if
perfect.
it got anything at the back of my head for you. Oh, I was in my hot tub.
My mum's hot tub. Obviously, it's not mine. You know I don't have a garden.
I was just in my hot tub, drinking champagne, taking pictures of the dog.
Yeah, for the podcast.
Yeah, I love that one. It's the life.
Great, thanks, Soph. Thanks for coming on. All the best.
No, because what we got to do is we got to ask her. You know, just if you had to pick which one, you know, which one you would pick.
Yeah, we all know I lost.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. And have you got any tips? We'll
for me
wrap it all up with this for Carl and for anybody else who is wanting to take real good pictures on their iPhone, other than buy an iPhone 12 because that seems to be
I know. I just
pretty cool.
Wow, like put my camera down. No, I'm joking. Again, down to lighting, and if like you just did now, if it's a bright day, always have the light behind you, which is key, which can be a nightmare on some weddings because any family shoots as well. You want them in a particular spot, but the sun is going like beaming down on their face, and it's really unflattering when you've got like loads of shadows on your face. So definitely light behind you, good lighting.
Here's something. Let me shout when it comes to the lighting thing. Something with like me, my hair is quite dark now, but I was blonde, right? But when I had blonde hair and the light would hit me, it would look awful. I would just look bald.
You look bald. Yeah. Whereas if the sun's behind you, it's not so much doing that. Or is it?
It's so weird when you've got blonde hair and the light hits you wrong.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's the weirdest thing. Like I take a picture with Claire and I'm like, Claire, mate, have I gone bald?
It's also to do with how short it is. Because I had I went to the hairdressers a couple of years ago before we went and did a cruise for work, and they cut my hair and he said, "Do you want me to trim your eyebrows?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he sort of clipped over them a little bit. And they looked a bit short, but they, you know what I mean? They were fine, absolutely fine. And we went and did this show on the cruise ship, and it was amazing. And the photographer there got some fantastic shots. But whenever the shot was taken and I was in direct light or he'd used flash or something like that, I looked like I had no eyebrows. And if I can find a picture, I'll put it on now because it looks
It's crazy. Yeah,
I go, that's a good picture, but it doesn't look like me. Why? And then you look at it and it's because you've got nothing on your head that you should have on your head.
It's mad, like certain lighting, certain angles can make you look completely different. I think that's why we're so fussy, isn't it? Like,
also, have you seen the difference in lenses between, say, a 200mm and a 50mm in terms of what that can do to a face? Because they say the camera adds however many pounds, and it does if you're on like a pancake lens or something like that. It'll make you
even like the smallest difference. Like if I was doing a portrait and I used a 50mm, it'd be really nice. But if I had a 35 and I love my 35, but if I had a 35 really close, it actually makes your nose look quite big.
Yeah.
So it's all about different angles, different lighting, and
So basically, what your advice is: get an iPhone 12 and make sure you're in bloody good light.
Have a word with God to make sure the sun only comes out when you're taking a picture.
So if people want to find you on socials, give us a plug on your socials now.
Okay, so Instagram is just Sophie Collins Photography _ because there's already one.
Of course there is.
Yeah, Facebook.
The underscore's after.
Sophie Collins Photography
_
Facebook, and my website's just, you can guess, www.sophiecollinsphotography.co.uk.
sophiecollinsphotography.co.uk. Sophie, thank you so much for joining us on the show this week. It's been really, really nice to talk to you about your photography and your weddings, and I know that when Carl gets married and when I get married,
I'm married already. She probably will divorce me at some point. I am a nightmare.
So when Carl gets married again,
when I get married again,
shoe in.
I'll be there.
Thanks so much, Soph.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Soph.
There's that awkward bit now where I have to take you out of the room and we all sort of go.
Well, that was fun.
It was informative.
Even though I lost.
Well,
I was always going to lose, wasn't I?
I would have lost probably if my mum hadn't got the best phone on the planet. Actually, I'd have won because I'm the better photographer.
Probably. Mine just looked a bit more Batman than yours. Bit more. Mine was a bit more.
I like that. I like the picture, but you're also as well. Boo's got loads and loads and loads of fur, so you kind of have to be further away in your picture of Boo, whereas Brian has got quite sort of tight.
Also, as I was taking the picture, I was like this. Oh my god, I love you so much. I just love you. I love you. I love
Your
you.
hands shaking. Oh, I love you. I love you. Yeah. It happens to the best of us. It happens to the best of us. No, but big thanks to Sophie for joining us to talk a little bit about photography. I think it's always good to get a professional opinion, and
Yeah, because everybody does genuinely not fancy themselves as a photographer, but everybody likes to take pictures. Everybody's quite proud of pictures.
Even if it's selfies for Instagram, if it's pictures that you want to take of like your dog or cat for Facebook or just for yourself, I think everybody's got a half decent camera on their phone now. So it's interesting to know how you can get the best out of that. Although her advice was don't take it on your phone. Get a proper camera and get some right lights. I'm joking. Carl, let's sign off here and say what we normally say at the end of every episode. And what have we got coming up next week?
We got the boys are back in it. The boys are back in town.
The boys are back in town. Boys. They're not the Bagel Boys. No one's the Bagel Boys apart from me and you.
Bagel Boys.
Final Instinct, if you're watching or if you're listening, we are still waiting for our Saudi Arabia plaques or Saudi Arabia awards, and also T-shirts and hoodies with Bagel Boys on.
Bagel Boys with cream cheese.
Don't print anything just yet, because I've got a feeling that slogan might just be for this episode, and it might not stick around in the same way that Dr. Beer has.
It'll definitely be in the next one. Do you know why? Because we're filming in 20 minutes. I'm off to change my shirt.
Thank you so much for watching the Awkward Turkey podcast.
Thank you. Give it a like, subscribe.
That's really important. That's really important. Apparently, you get better. YouTube does it better if people leave a comment and also like and also subscribe. And we haven't asked them to do any of those things for about 6 months. So like it now, subscribe now, and leave a comment.
Say please.
Not in this, please. Not in this live chat.
It's quite aggressive, though. So like it now.
Go to the video afterwards, not in the live chat, and put an actual comment and an actual like if you liked it. If you didn't, tell us why you didn't. And
don't want to read that.
No, listen, mate. We got to take the rough with the smooth.
No. No criticism.
Please like it. Please comment. Please subscribe.
This is free.
Bagel Boys. Like it. Subscribe with cream cheese. And we will see you next week, Sunday at 7. Love you. Bye. I don't know how I feel about you not dropping the mic. Oh, there we go.